Welcome to the Elite Podcast Network, home of the #1 independent wrestling coverage, available on iTunes, Stitcher, blogtalk Radio, and wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow us on Twitter at Elite Podcast Net and join the revolution now.
Welcome back to Wrestling Heads Radio. It's me, Oscar. My name ain't no fucking WH Skits, and you get that shit right. Joining me now, I got my man with me from the NYC, and his name is Tom. What's going on, Tom?
Not much. So we're supposed to get some storms over here in NY, maybe just some rain. But I mean, it's been a crazy last couple of days in the wrestling world, and we have a lot to talk about tonight. I mean, is there ever a time in wrestling where nothing's going on? Like, shit's popping every single week with wrestling. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Like, everything's red hot so far, like the weather out here in California. And if I was WH Skits, I would bring some water tomorrow because it's going to be really hot at the line of PWG. But before we talk about PWG, I got Matthew Grant with us. What's going on, Mr. Grant?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, glad to have you on, man. We're just going to... Oh, actually, I was going to let our listeners know that we're going to have a little PWG fantasy booking for tomorrow's show because we know you don't have a card out. It's Mystery Vortex. So I guess maybe you can join us. How are you going to fantasize or no? Come on. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about women here. So how will you fantasize a booking for tomorrow's show if you're the one that's booking the show? So let's just do that. And then after that, we'll discuss what we think was really gonna happen tomorrow night at PWG Mystery Vortex 3. So, who wants to start this? Tom, you want to start?
All right. So, Mystery Vortex 3, Rock and Chocolate Nation. I'm going to start out with what I think is going to be the main event. And it kind of coincides with my
saying. This is not the fantasy. You thinking already was going to be the main event?
I mean this one because my fantasy booking is going to go along with what I think is going to happen. I think the main event for tomorrow's show is going to be Roderick Strong versus Candice LeRae for the PWG World Title. Obviously Roddy cost them the tag team titles at DDT 4, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it. But so it makes sense. And if you remember back to Mystery Vortex 2, earlier last year, Candice faced Adam Cole for the PWG World Title and lost. The thing is, I don't know if Candice is going to win. It would be really weird if Candice did win because it's like, is she going to just be a placeholder? How long would she have the title? Who would take the title from her? That's the only thing I'm really, really torn on. But like I said, that's what I think is going to happen, and that's what I would pick to be the main event for tomorrow's show.
All right. I want to go last, but go ahead, Matt. Do you have any idea what's going to go down tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with what Tom said, definitely for the main event. I feel like Candice LeRae is going to beat Roderick Strong for the PWG World Title. I'm going to throw out a random match, and this is kind of me. This is based off a storyline. This is more me just kind of like, whatever, might as well throw it out there. Let's have the boyfriend of Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, take on the tag team partner of Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan.
All right.
See, all right, so this is what I would do differently than that. I wouldn't put Gargano against Joey Ryan. I would, because Josh Alexander is now retiring and Monster Mafia is going to be no more, I would put Ethan Page up against Joey Ryan because Monster Mafia beat the World's Cutest Tag Team for the titles at DDT 4. So Joey would kind of look to avenge that, going one-on-one with Ethan Page, but Ethan Page beats Joey Ryan, starting the rise of Ethan Page and PWG. And this would kind of lead to Joey taking loss after loss. You know, he loses the PWG Tag Team Championship. Joey Ryan needs to go back to being heel. Face Joey Ryan does not work. So Joey at some point, I think in the near future, maybe at Bola or something, he needs to turn heel on Candice LeRae, and he needs to team up with Gargano, because Gargano's not doing anything in PWG, and neither would Joey Ryan. So they become a team, and they turn on Candice.
All right.
Here's what I would do differently in that situation. I think with the Monster Mafia kind of finishing up what they're doing, I think they're going to get one last shot at the PWG Tag Team titles at Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett and kind of just get them out of the picture, especially with them winning the titles, kind of giving them a rematch. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do it, but at the same time, I think it's kind of fair to get that out of the way. Or you go with Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett versus Josh Alexander and Ethan Page versus the Beaver Boys, John Silver and Alex Reynolds versus Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan, the world's cutest tag team, and you do a 4-team tag for the titles.
I couldn't see that happening just because doing a fatal 4-way tag match would be tough to do. I think, you know, when they do triple threat tags, it usually can work, but you do any more than that and can kind of get clustered. So I don't think they would go that route, and I wouldn't want it to go that route. I think if they're going to do a rematch, it should be Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett taking on the Beaver Boys. Just plain rematch for the PWG Tag Team titles.
Okay, I like it.
All right. Well, let me put out my main event because it's this mystery vortex. A lot of weird shit can happen. So my main event will be Roderick Strong defending the title in a triple threat match against Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan. That could be a possibility because he did cost him the match, and we could see some weird shit going on. We could finally see Joey and Candice maybe get it on for once. You know, I mean, it just seems like everybody or pretty much everybody's tired of the World's Cutest Tag Team. But the problem is, I don't think they want to break up. They together successfully gets bookings all over the place. So you break them up, are they going to get the same bookings how they were getting? I don't know. So I don't see them breaking up anytime soon. I know a lot of people want to see Joey backstab Candice. That's like heaven to the PWG fans in Reseda, California. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. I'm sorry. I mean, the only way I can see it happening is until you feel like this whole Candice and Joey thing is fucking pretty much dead. But it's up to Joey and Candice to do it. That's the way I see it. Who's going to win? I mean, it seems like y'all picking Candice because Roderick, we all know for sure Roderick is not going to be at the next PWG show, and he is the world champion. So in the anniversary, you must have your champion, and fuck. Tough for me to say, but I could agree with you guys. I probably think Candice will win the championship the next show, probably. I mean, tomorrow night. I mean, or at the same time, do they have trust with Roderick that he could skip this next show, but he'll be back at Bola.
I'm not too big on the anniversary show not having a championship match, though. I know me and Skits have talked about it off there about the fact of the past couple of years really haven't been main evented by a championship match, but I do feel the need of a championship match on the show regardless.
Yeah, and that's always been the thing, is that on all these anniversary shows, the world title isn't the main event. It's been the tag team titles, and I don't know if they're still going to go with that route. I would maybe assume that they would, maybe do another ladder match, because they seem to like to do ladder matches on the anniversary shows, or they like to do some kind of specialty match on the anniversary shows. So I wouldn't be surprised with that, and maybe that's why they would put the belt on Candice, because that way Candice, she's not main eventing, but the title is still defended on the show. My only thing is, who would she defend against in her first defense? Obviously, it wouldn't be Roderick Strong. So who could you have as a first viable contender to, if Candice does win the title? Because, you can't put her out there against, like, let's say, Chris Hero, for example. Just an example. You can't put her out there against Chris Hero, because most people would assume that Chris Hero, after one elbow and one kick, would send Candice to the hospital. So you can't do that. So when you think of first-time contenders, you have to either think of somebody like a Joey Ryan, or like, I don't know, a Gargano, somebody that she's wrestled before. So it's tough to say that if she does win, who would she defend the belt against?
I think the first defense comes against Joey Ryan. I really do. I feel like if that does happen, we see Candice and Joey face off at the anniversary show, finally ending off that stage of the world's cutest tag team. And, yeah, I would not be surprised to see it happen.
Yeah. For anybody that's listening, you guys can always come in the conversation. You always can call in at 347-945-5566, or tweet us at WrestlingHead if you have any idea what match can happen tomorrow night at Mystery Vortex 3. That we'll see what happens tomorrow in the main event. I didn't throw out my tag team prediction, like what can happen tomorrow night. Maybe, I think it was Matt that said that we could see a possible rematch with Monster Mafia and I guess the North Carolina boys, Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett. That looks like a possibility. But hold on, let's keep our thoughts for right now. We have a caller on the other line. Let's see who this is. 781. You're live on Wrestling Heads Radio. Who's speaking?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
You don't know who this is, do you?
I think I know who it is now.
Get off the line, motherfucker.
Nothing much.
What's going on, man? You got any thoughts you want to share about PWG, tomorrow's night event?
Whoever said the triple threat, still no idea.
The triple that I brought up, right?
Yeah, Joey Ryan, Candice LeRae, and Roderick Strong.
I've thought about that as well. I don't know. I just don't see Joey Ryan in a main event match.
Yeah, and I think especially because people know that Joey Ryan is, he's one of the, I believe he's one of the 6 co-founders of PWG, and he's been in the booking office with Excalibur and Super Dragon. So it's like, if you have someone in the main event like that, people know that, and people are going to be pissed. Because when Joey Ryan won the 2010 Battle of Los Angeles, people were furious because they're like, Joey Ryan's been world champion before, why did he win that? So I think that's something to maybe take into consideration like, I don't see Joey Ryan being in the main event. I feel like if they're going to do that, they have to do Candice versus Roddy one-on-one, you know, because if you throw Joey in there, it's either because Joey can't really turn heel because he has to wrestle Candice. So it's like you don't officially turn him heel yet. I still think they should go with the idea because, like I said, Joey Ryan isn't going to be doing anything after they break up the world's cutest tag team, and neither is Gargano. And that would add so much if we see Gargano, you know, attack Candice LeRae, and people know that they're, you know, dating each other, and I think it would add so much heat to Gargano and Joey Ryan, and it would have Candice be even more over than I think she is right now. And then you could do Candice versus Joey one-on-one. You could do Candice versus Gargano one-on-one, something like that.
All right. I'm going to go back to Mr. Warren here. Who do you think will be the tag team match tomorrow night? Will we see another triple threat, or could we see a rematch like we've all been talking about? Like, what do you see tomorrow night?
See, I think there's going to be multiple tag team matches. I don't see just one, because what PWG, I think, is building on is a strong tag team division. So, like I said earlier, I think it's going to be Beaver Boys versus North Carolina Boys for the title, and then I see Team Tremendous taking on...
This is not going to be there tomorrow night, for sure. They're booked somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Maybe we see a debut of a new tag team, because last Mystery Vortex we saw the debut of Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee. So maybe we see a new debuting tag team. Who knows?
You know what I've been wondering? And that's the fact of Ethan Page find a new tag team partner now that Josh Alexander's out of the picture. Part of me, I don't know why I've been thinking about this, but just because of how much of a rivalry they've had in other places and how much they've been intertwined in other promotions, I would not be surprised to see Ethan Page and Johnny Gargano team up.
That'd be interesting.
That would be. And I think it would give both guys something to do. But I don't know. I feel like for so long, people have associated Ethan Page with the Monster Mafia. And I think now is really the chance to let kind of Ethan go on a big singles run in different promotions, which he has done in AAW. You know, he's the new AAW world champion. So he's obviously doing singles in those promotions, but I think we see a really big singles run for Ethan Page coming up, and I think that would be more interesting than just sticking him in a new tag team.
Interesting. I know all we're talking about like debuts and stuff, but do you guys see any debuts tomorrow night in PWG?
That's a good question. I wouldn't be too surprised to see some debuts, especially with being Mystery Vortex. But at the same time, I think that PWG has kind of established their set roster. Maybe one debut. I mean, like we've been talking about, Josh Alexander's on his way out, so maybe we have something to fill that role. I really don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I'm not expecting it.
A name that I was kind of thinking might make his debut. I mean, he was announced for Battle of Los Angeles, but I think tomorrow night we might see his debut, is Timothy Thatcher. I think it would be a good way to introduce him and maybe kind of give him some momentum going into Bola. But I don't know if they were going to go down that route to have, you know, because they announced him for Bola, but there's no indication that he'll debut before then. And he's a California guy, so I don't think it would be a problem of getting him to the show. So that wouldn't surprise me. And no other debuts I can think of. You know, I don't see many people like who do international stuff. Like I don't see Zack Sabre Jr. coming to the show.
Another guy, actually, now that you were kind of on this topic, that I could see debuting, and I'm not sure what his schedule looks like this weekend, so don't quote me on this one, but I would be surprised to see the Juice, JT Dunn, and PWG sooner rather than later.
I don't see that happening. He's actually booking that same show with Team Tremendous tomorrow night, so I don't see that happening at all.
You're right. You're right. He's booked for both that double shot in New York. You're right.
Yeah, so you get that out of the picture.
Maybe another show.
You know what? Shit. I'm trying to think if any debuts can happen. The Timothy Thatcher one is a very possibility because I can tell you this. I know Sunday, Drew Gulak is also booked here in California for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and Timothy Thatcher is going to join him. So it wouldn't surprise me if Thatcher does make his debut tomorrow night. And, yeah, maybe him and Gulak will team up, or maybe him and Gulak will go at it. But I think Gulak will be there tomorrow night. Will he wrestle again?
Now that you bring that up, Oscar, I wouldn't mind seeing Thatcher and Gulak team up and have Biff go singles.
Yeah, that could probably happen.
And speaking of Biff, because this is something that I wanted to get on, because I saw a few people kind of mentioning it on Twitter, and we mentioned this when we interviewed Biff Busick on Wrestling Heads Radio here not too long ago, because he's been calling out Super Dragon for quite some time, and there's been some rumblings and some rumors that Super Dragon can't come back. And I think this would, if you're ever going to have a time for Super Dragon to come back and it be a shocker to everybody, this would be the show to do it. Do you guys see Super Dragon answering Biff Busick's challenge tomorrow night?
I'll say no. I'm hearing rumors too, but I'm going to say no. If Super Dragon will appear tomorrow, it's going to be like how he did in that one show when he attacked the Young Bucks. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was Steen Wolf, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he came back to Steen Wolf and then was involved in the tag team match with Kevin Steen against the Young Bucks, Guerrilla Warfare at PWG Theater.
Yeah, that's like the only way I can see Super Dragon appearing is he just appear, but not the rest of the show, you know? Maybe saving somebody's ass, you know? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, somebody turn on their shit, whoever that is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we want clear audio. Anyway, but I know because before we got on air, me and you, Oscar, we were kind of discussing the whole possibility of Super Dragon possibly coming back. You know, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. And I mentioned to you that, you know, the last time we saw Super Dragon come back in 2011, he was still the same Super Dragon. You know, he could still do all the same moves, but he wasn't in that good a shape, and I think it was noticeable. And one thing I also mentioned is that how injury prone he is, because he came back, and then with 3 months later, he had an injury to his, I believe, his Achilles. If I'm not mistaken, it might be something else. Or maybe he broke his heel, something like that. And, you know, he's had a history of concussions and a whole bunch of injuries, so it's like, if he does come back, you know, how long is it going to be?
Yeah, I feel you on that, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see about Super Dragon. I don't know where all these rumors are coming from, to be honest with you, but it's kind of crazy to hear about all this.
I blame CM Punk.
CM Punk make his return tomorrow night? That's what you're trying to say?
Yeah, there. Shocker. No. I blame the Young Bucks. Young Bucks and Biff Busick, actually. Remember, Biff Busick's been calling out Super Dragon for quite some time. Maybe this happens tomorrow night.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Speaking about the Young Bucks, will they appear tomorrow night? Do you guys think they will make a return to PWG tomorrow night?
They are pretty much confirmed that they're not working with PWG at the moment. There was a report off of MLW Radio a couple of weeks ago saying that they were supposed to face Jack Evans and the other guy's name that I can't pronounce. I'm not even going to try to.
Here, repeat with me. word by word. On.
I'm not doing it.
No, say it with me. On Helico.
Yeah, that guy. They're supposed to team up to face those two at the anniversary show, and the Bucks confirmed that it's not true, and they're not working with PWG at the moment, which maybe they're swaying people away from it, but I highly doubt it, to be honest.
Okay, let's just see if that's true. But Young Bucks not working for PWG anytime soon. Why? Why would not be working for PWG anytime soon? What will be the reason?
I think between Ring of Honor, New Japan, Global Force, I think they're all booked up, plus other indie dates they've taken as well. I mean, the Young Bucks are really, really in demand, and I think they're going to be going forward. So it's going to be really hard for PWG to have them on their events, I think.
See, but that's something I don't understand, because the Bucks have mentioned it so much in the past how loyal they are to PWG, because they said without PWG they wouldn't be where they are today. So they're very loyal to them. So I would like to imagine that even though they are taking a lot of bookings with a lot of major companies and a lot of smaller independent companies, that they want to get to PWG as much as possible because they owe their careers to that company. So they want to be loyal to them and be there as much as they can. So I don't know. It's like I said, it's very weird because they're appearing on all these different indie shows, not just Ring of Honor, New Japan, and Global Force. They're doing a whole bunch of different things. They're going to be back in Chikara in September. I think they're doing XWA. They're doing all these different. So why can't they do PWG?
PWX up in the Carolinas as well. They're all over the place right now.
Yeah, they're going to do a show over here in California for IWL again. They're the IWL Tag Team Champions.
Actually, they'll be at House of Hardcore as well. So, I mean, they're making their ways all over the world, whether it be North America, whether it be Japan, whether it be Europe. You name it, the Young Bucks are there.
Definitely. But, yeah, I just can't wait to see them come back to IWL, go against the mixtape teams. Well, they're a pretty good team. I mean, that's going to be a good match. I can't wait for that on August 8th. Yeah, I just can't wait to see that. Also, what was I going to say? Let me ask you guys a question. Do we see any SoCal talent returning to this show tomorrow night?
Is there anything running in SoCal? That's my first question.
I'm trying to think. I don't think so, to be honest with you. I got to check.
I think if there's any time for it, I would not be surprised to see Willie Mack back in PWG.
I don't know, because
I thought Willie Mack would be back tomorrow. That's the only thing it is. If that's because I don't think there's nothing else going on tomorrow night. Because there's a lot of SoCal promoters don't like to book their shows the same day as PWG because they don't know that there's a good chance they'll get a lower attendance.
Yeah, and we've kind of discussed this in the past that PWG hasn't been using the California talent like they've been using in years past, and it kind of seems like they're drifting away from booking California talent as opposed to now booking, whatever names are currently, I would say, hot in independent wrestling, what names are creating the most buzz, instead of booking SoCal or California talent in general. So that's what makes me think that I don't see anybody from the SoCal or California scene returning. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to. I want to see, the Rockness Monsters back in PWG. Rockness Monsters had such a good run in PWG, and PWG just dropped the ball on them so bad. The crowd loved them. They were putting on great matches. And then it was like they just kind of faded out and became just an opening act, which I don't think they should have become. PP Ray, same thing there. They're a little bit more comedy, but, they just stopped booking those guys altogether as well. And then also another guy, B-Boy. You have that veteran talent go against a new guy. That's kind of been, lost in PWG as well. So as much as I want to see it, I don't see any California talent returning to the show.
Yeah. I just got a tweet from Zach right here. I'm going to give out a shout out to Zach here. He tweeted, what about another Trevor Lee versus Speedball Mike Bailey match? Classic.
I think the only reason you can't do that in this situation is because Trevor Lee's one half of the PWG Tag Team Champions. Maybe have Seidel and Bailey team up to take on Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett for the titles. I think that's more of a likely scenario than what you said there.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's probably the only way we'll see any more Trevor Lee and Zach. I was going to say Zach Sabre Jr. Trevor Lee and Mike Bailey, like any action from them, because you need to have a tag team. And plus, Matt Seidel's actual partner, Chris Sabin, I believe he's still out from the back injury. So, yeah,
well,
that's part of the
best. He was on the Best in the World pay-per-view, saving the addiction, so maybe he's good to go.
Well, he just came out and just help out the addiction to win the match, but, I mean, is he clear to wrestle a match? That's the question right there.
I think he would. I think they wouldn't have had him on the show if he wasn't clear, to be honest.
Well, like I say, I think no matter what, if he's clear or not, I think the whole plan was to have him cost Red Dragon the match. I mean, you don't need to be cleared just to get involved in a match. I think even WWE will even allow that to happen. You know how they're freaking strict with all those injuries and all that stuff they have, medical bullshit they have in their program. I mean, I think WWE would even do the same thing too. If someone was injured and they plan to have that person cost someone a match, they'll probably do the same thing.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's basically what we come out and discuss what's going down tomorrow night in PWG. Maybe Rick Knox will jump out of the ring again, or maybe Angel will get super kicked, the ring announcer. But I got some questions to ask him tomorrow night, because there's something I want to discuss later on. But if there's anything else you want to add up, what you think could happen tomorrow night? Any guys?
Honestly, there's nothing really I can see standing out. No, nothing really. Maybe
I think, the thing with Mystery Vortex is you'll have a couple surprises, a couple debuts, but other than that, it's just like you don't know who's going to be facing each other. So, the big questions are, number one, what's going to be the deal with the main event and the world title? Second question, any debuts or returns? And that's really it. Other than that, we'll probably see a couple tag team matches, some singles matches between PWG regulars, maybe some rematches from past shows. Who knows? So, it's hard to correctly predict what's going to happen on this show.
Definitely agree with you there, Tom.
Yeah, definitely. I guess let's just take a little commercial break. Our own WH Skits will be calling him later. He'll discuss his PWG thing or his fantasy or whatever thing he can come up with. He will discuss that whenever he calls in. But yeah, we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Biff Busick, and you are listening to Wrestling Heads Radio. Hello, pro wrestling fans. This is pro wrestler Brian Kendrick. Thank you for listening to Wrestling Heads.
Welcome back to WH Radio. It's been a crazy ass night here tonight.
Hey, Oscar.
Tomorrow night, crazier. What happened?
All you have to do is believe!
Faggot.
Speaking of Bo Dallas, did anybody see SmackDown where
Oh my goodness.
and Bo Dallas was clapping along with the New Day? I hope he joins New Day. I am praying. That would be some amazing stuff.
Oh God.
This
That's
hilarious segment. So good.
We'll see if that happens. But I want to discuss about what's been crazy around the world of wrestling. But we hardly talk about TNA a lot. But shocking return happened last night in TNA. It was the return of the founder of TNA and the owner of Global Force Wrestling, the King of the Mountain himself, Jeff Jarrett, made his return from to TNA. So I'm like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe my eyes. But I want to ask first, Tom, what was your reaction when you found out the return of Jeff Jarrett to TNA Wrestling?
Well, I saw some rumors of it from Wade Keller on Twitter, and of course, Wade Keller associated with PWG Torch, so any credit goes to him. He was saying that Jeff Jarrett was backstage and that he would be appearing, and I was like, man, it's just rumors, why would that happen? And then the whole thing with TNA's X Division belt now being green, it was just kind of like a whole bunch of coincidences being put together. And sure enough, last night he came out, him and Karen Jarrett, they came back. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to think of it because it's like, what's going to happen? Is there an invasion angle going to go on? Are we going to see, Global Force talent in TNA? Because now there's being reports that because of what happened last night and all these rumors going around, New Japan is kind of backing off of their deal with Global Force because they're like, wait, why are you guys associated with TNA? And, New Japan and TNA, they have a past together. They used to work together a lot. New Japan sent guys like Tanahashi and Okada to TNA to kind of expose them and get them better, in TNA completely fucked that up. And they've had TNA stars on Wrestle Kingdom, so they've had a pass together, but I believe they had a pretty bad falling out, so that's why they don't exchange talent anymore. So now New Japan is telling Global Force, well, now that you're associated with them, we're not going to let you use our talent. So then that might mean no more Bullet Club, no more New Japan stars, or anybody associated with New Japan. Even like a guy like Shelton Benjamin, I don't know if he's still ever going to be used by New Japan, but I know that, he's in Noah now, and, New Japan and Noah are doing some things together, so he might not be on there. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting what's going to happen. It definitely created a big buzz, which is good. But I just don't know where it's going to go. And it's like Global Force has gotten us, I think, to a rough start because they're running in baseball stadiums and they're drawing 200, 250 people, maybe 300. That's not looking good. So if you're going to be combining talent and doing shows together, you need to be an established promotion. And I don't think Global Force is that right now. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I was kind of laughing more at that we saw Vader and Matt Morgan come back and Hernandez. Like, it was just, Hernandez I didn't mind because he's been doing great stuff on Lucha Underground. I thought Matt Morgan retired. And I mean, Vader's fucking awesome, but I don't know, he fit in kind of weird with TNA.
All right. Before I ask Matt his thoughts, I'm gonna read you some tweets there. This guy tweeted us, Chase Merriman. I cannot name his Twitter thing, but it's at ChaseM262. First, he tweeted about the whole TNA thing. He says, Jeff Jarrett to TNA still confuses me. He's trying to save Global Force Wrestling. All right. That's kind of funny there. And I guess he just tweeted something about Rick Fox or Rick Knox, I'm trying to say, but I guess he thinks I said Rick Fox for some reason. Oh well. But anyways, Matt, you want to give your thoughts of Jared returning to TNA last night?
Yeah, I really am not sure what to think about this to start. I saw the rumors, I saw the X Division title, and I honestly thought it was true, like, right from the get-go. I thought, honestly, like, what the hell does Jeff Jarrett have to lose at this point? What the hell does TNA have to lose at this point? Absolutely nothing, I think, between the two. So I think it kind of worked out. I think Jarrett's kind of trying to save his own baby at the same time trying to promote his new baby. It's kind of like doing what he's doing with Karen, with Kurt. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, I said it. Hernandez, I'm a big fan of him being back. He kind of recruited yesterday as he was on Lucha Underground as well as being on TNA. So the first person to be on multiple national TV shows in quite some time since the Monday Night Wars was recruited, like I said. So Hernandez definitely making a mark last night and will be a part of the Beatdown clan apparently going forward. So that's going to be very interesting. And apparently got released from Lucha Underground out of the process. Vader, I don't know why the hell Vader is on TNA television. I love Vader as much as the next person, but nobody in their right minds wanted to see Vader versus Bram on television last night. So that was just me. And then we had the final return of Matt Morgan. Yes, he was retired. In fact, I actually went back and retweeted a couple of the tweets from Twitter a day before TNA saying, oh yeah, I'm retired, because people were actually suggesting him to come back and face Bram. And he's like, nah, I'm retired. Nah, I'm not going to do it. And all of a sudden he shows up. So, I mean, it seems like no matter what people say in wrestling nowadays, I know Hernandez came on the show before, your guys' show and my show, and trashed TNA and said he would never go back, and look where we are now. Matt Morgan has gone on record and said he's retired many of times, and he's back in TNA. So it truly means in wrestling, never say never.
And I think some of the more interesting things that are going on is now today, Loki announced that he departed ways with TNA. So he is gone. Of course, Gunner is gone. Sam Shaw is gone. There's reports that Austin Aries' contract is coming up, is coming to an end, and he doesn't want to resign. And it was funny because Global Force had a video on their YouTube of Jeff Jarrett and Dixie kind of backstage, and you see Austin Aries walking by, and it looks like Dixie is going to start to, like, talk to him or something, and he just, like, dances right around her like, I don't want to talk to you. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Austin Aries leave TNA soon with the rest of those guys.
I believe he will, and I hate to throw out a spoiler, but I think this was expected amongst everybody. The Wolves ended up winning the TNA titles back tonight, which means, obviously, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries lost, which means that kind of plays into the rumors a little bit more of Austin Aries leaving the company.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting because Austin Aries basically burned his bridges with Ring of Honor. So it's like he can't go back there. Is he in a possibility of going to WWE? Is he just going to work the indies and not go to Ring of Honor? That would be something interesting to look at as well.
I think another thing to focus on as well, and this has been reported by a lot of people and kind of talked about on Twitter as well by MVP Matt Hardy, to say the least. Apparently the TNA talent once again being left in the dark about the situation, not even told about Jarrett coming in. Apparently like 5 minutes before showtime, he showed up and nobody knew, even guys like Kurt Angle, who's the world champion of the company and obviously has a storied past with Jarrett, didn't know about it. So why is TNA doing this to their talent? Why are they keeping them in the dark about these situations?
I don't know. It's very weird. The one thing I will say, and I don't know if you guys saw the spoilers. I don't know, should I give away the spoiler or not? Do you guys not want to know?
Let's do it.
Well, I haven't seen anything, but go for it.
Well, now EC3 is the new TNA World Heavyweight Championship, so that is something positive for TNA, I think, because the guy deserves it. He's probably one of the best, if not the best talent they have right now. I'm glad they got the title off of Kurt Angle. That's what I was seeing. I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but I saw people saying, like, EC3 deserves it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he is champion. I ended up seeing, actually, how he ended up winning the match. It was kind of a screwy finish, but he ended up winning the title, so that's good to see.
Yeah, but see, that's good and all, and I like that because I wanted to see EC3 as champ for a long time. But the Impact that they were taping today is going to appear after Slammiversary. So you just basically gave away any sort of, angle for Slammiversary. So it was a completely stupid move by TNA to do that. And they know the power. They know the power of the internet. So why is anybody going to watch Slammiversary now if they know who's going to be?
The best part about TNA, this whole Jeff Jarrett coming back for this King of the Mountain match, and the random King of the Mountain match that gets booked for absolutely nothing. It's a very weird King of the Mountain match, as I believe announced for the match was Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Drew Galloway, Matt Hardy, and Jeff Jarrett.
I'm sorry, but besides Bobby Roode, I couldn't care less about anybody in that match, and Drew Galloway. Besides those two, I couldn't care any less. Do I want to see Jeff Jarrett wrestle anymore? No. Eric Young is kind of faded out from his big title run. Matt Hardy, he's still good, but it's just like, okay, that's all well and good, but I don't know, that's just not a lot of interest.
And then they're doing something about Davey Richards is facing Austin Aries, and the winner picks the stipulation for the match that's supposed to happen next week, which was taped tonight.
Wow. Well, that's like a lot of spoilers for the villain, but then now who wants to buy the pay-per-view? But anyways, I want to give on my thoughts of Jeff Jarrett returning to TNA. I was shocked as well. I didn't think that will ever happen. But when I first heard the news he made his return, this just kind of like gave me the idea, okay, he's going to join the TNA Hall of Fame. The original plan for them was to bring AJ Styles back to the company and put him in the Hall of Fame and have one match. But the way it looks like, I think they're gonna have Jarrett to fill in that role because AJ turned it down. He's too busy Ring of Honor in New Japan. So I guess Jarrett decided maybe he'll do that. He'll put himself in the TNA Hall of Fame, and yeah, there you go. I mean, like I said every year, the TNA Hall of Fame is basically still. When you're at the end of your wrestling career, you're pretty much going to go in the TNA Hall of Fame. So that's how the TNA that's how they work. So
I think with being on the Global Force Wrestling topic, it would be a shame if we didn't bring up the 3 talents that were announced for Global Force Wrestling going forward today: Johnny Gargano, Colt Cabana, and Santana Garrett.
What was the last one?
Santana Garrett, the former Brittany in TNA.
Oh, yeah. I knew that was going to happen because maybe you can say this. The day after their taping, she's booked over here in California, so I kind of knew that was going to happen. So, yeah, I'm going to see her in July over here, so the day after the taping. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, but going back to Jeff Jarrett, for me, it's weird. I mean, not weird, but I guess good for him that he's going to TNA Hall of Fame if that's the route they're doing. And it's good to see him back in TNA. Maybe what the guy just tweeted does, he's just using it to save Global Force or promote Global Force more. And potentially see what happens. If they go with the invasion angle, who will be involved? Will Young Bucks be involved? Maybe we'll see him return to TNA. But who knows? That'd be crazy. As for the other returns, like Hernandez and Vader and Matt Morgan. Well, I thought, like you guys said, I thought Matt Morgan retired as well, but he's returning. But I haven't read the spoilers, but is there any chance he made his return because of that situation from Bram? Because what Bram's doing in TNA is that every week he calls out.
That's exactly what it is. After he beat, or actually the match with Vader didn't even end. He kind of beat Vader down with something underneath the ring, like a tool or something. And then Morgan made a return from the crowd and took Bram out to set up for the match at Slammiversary.
Yeah, because last couple of weeks in TNA, Bram been like calling out the superstars in the past. Last week he called out Joseph Parks made his return to TNA and he lost his match against Bram. And the week before, I don't remember who it was. It was someone from the past. I totally forgot who it was of the week before. But yeah, that's what Bram's been doing. That's why I thought maybe Vader, same thing. He just came in just to have one match with Bram, and then Matt Morgan. That's you just answered my question right there, Matt Morgan and Hernandez. I thought he would be the same thing, but he's joined the B-Town clan, and I was thinking, wait, is he Lucha Underground? But I'm guessing.
I wouldn't be surprised with Homicide being back in TNA. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of LAX reunion going forward.
Yeah, that's a very highly possibility that's going to happen. But speaking about Lucha Underground, maybe we could change the topic here per se. I think they could be in trouble in the way, because right now what I'm hearing and what I'm reading around that there are tapings that's supposed to happen for second season around August or September. It looks like it got pushed back to possibly in October. But and also I'm still hearing rumors that now that they're not sure it's going to happen. But someone told me from Lucha Underground like about a few months ago or a month ago that it's supposed to happen late August or September. But now they're saying it's going to get pushed back. There's reports out there that they're telling the talent if you want to look for work in between August and September, then go for it. So if anything open for that, they go for it. So hoping they do something in the second season, like they start actually filming. I hope they don't cancel. But I'm sure you guys watched last night's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But I hope there's not nothing bad coming out from Lucha Underground. Like, will it ever be a second season? But I don't know. Right now it's kind of a little scaring me. I don't know if you guys think a second season's gonna happen or what, or you just think it's just a pushback, not a big deal. I don't know what you guys think, but
I think either way in this situation, it was wrong for these guys to sign like 7-year contracts just because of the uncertainty, like we're talking about right now with a possible second season. We're just talking about a second season. What if we get to the point where we're talking about third, fourth, fifth, sixth season, then there's uncertainty? You can't keep doing this to your talent, and I don't know. I'm kind of worried about this whole Lucha Underground thing from the get-go.
Yeah, because you remember, I think whoever's running Lucha Underground is not wrestling mind. I just they thought that, okay, let's just make a TV show about wrestling. Out, and I don't know, it's just part of just bad decisions, but I hope they learn from that decisions if they do make a second season. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know if you guys saw Lucha Underground last night, but I was actually there in that tapings. I remember seeing that live. I don't know if you guys saw, but they actually showed my arm. I actually pointed at Pentagon Jr. because I don't know if you guys saw the episode. He called out Vampiro out, and they had a little face-to-face and all this stuff. And then I remember when Pentagon was into the back, I stuck my arm out and I pointed at him. I said something to him like, I think in Spanish, I told him like, he's going to fuck you up or something like that. And he just, I don't remember what he told me. That he told me to shut the fuck up, or maybe, I think that's what he told me. He just told me to shut the fuck up. I don't remember. This was a few months back. In Spanish, he told me to shut the fuck up. So, yeah. I just want to put that out there. But I don't know what you guys thought of Ultima Lucha coming up, but they announced some matches, confirmed matches. Patron Alberto going against Johnny Mundo. And now we just saw the main event has been changed now to Prince Puma against Mil Muertes. So I want to ask you guys, are you guys excited for Ultima Lucha so far?
Yeah, I think it should be a really, really good event. Lucha Underground last night was good. I liked the Mil Muertes Drago match. It was some good brawling, some good action to close off the show. I really liked the four-way between Mac, Aerostar, Cage, and Marty the Moth. It was supposed to be a five-way with Pentagon, but he left. And this match was, to gain one of the medallions, and Aerostar ended up winning. But I thought it was a fun, spotty match. A lot of good spots in here from each guy in here, so enjoyed it. The one thing that I didn't like about the show was Sexy Star losing to Superfly, or whatever, if that was his name. Yeah, Superfly. I didn't get that one bit whatsoever. You have Sexy Star beat Pentagon Jr., who is undefeated, and breaking people's arms and looking like a huge monster, and you have her beat him only to lose to Superfly the next week. What the fuck? That is WWE-style booking right there. That blows my fucking mind that she lost. It wasn't that good of a match either. It was okay, but it wasn't like typical Sexy Star matches. That just really confused me and bugged me that they had her basically lose in a squash to Superfly after beating Pentagon Jr. That really annoyed me.
Yeah, I feel you on that part. I was there live, and I was like, what the fuck is this? But I was confused in that part too. But yeah. But my question to both of you guys, are you guys excited for the possible return of Vampiro?
Kind of, not really, just for the fact that, I can't remember the last time I've seen Vampiro wrestle. And obviously back in the day in WCW, he was excellent. He was really good in the ring. But
yeah,
now he's much older, much more banged up. What can he do against Pentagon? And it's like I like him on commentary, and that's where I want him to stay. I don't really want him back in the ring.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you guys on this one. I definitely don't want to see Vampiro back in the ring. The only time I want to see him wrestle is on a video game, and maybe an N64 video game is sold. I'm sorry, but I do not want to see Vampiro in the ring. I don't want to see somebody die.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm the only one that can answer that, but I'm not going to give it out. Maybe he will, maybe he will not. Maybe he'll send somebody over against Pentagon. But we'll see how this Vampiro and Pentagon Jr. Thing works out. Don't forget, there's also look like a medallion match is going to happen. I'm sure you guys like these five-way medallion matches. I'm glad you saw Willie Mack and Cage going at it. I'm sure you guys were happy to see that. But yeah, that was last night's episode of Lucha Underground. It's nothing too big. Just more matches been added on Ultima Lucha. Just keep an eye. It's gonna be around. What are you gonna say?
No, I just wanted to kind of go back to the Global Force Wrestling thing and the three guys announced, because I don't think we got Tom's thoughts on anything.
Okay. Okay,
Tom,
but
What did you say? You were kind of like breaking up, half, hard to hear.
Oh, I said something about. I wanted to hear your thoughts on the Global Force Wrestling announcement with Gargano, Cabana, and Garrett.
Oh yeah. Obviously, Santana Garrett is one of the top women's wrestlers on the indie scene. She's grabbing belt after belt. So I was happy about that. Gargano, I mean, obviously he has a lot of talent. So it's good to see that. And they're bringing in a lot of talent. Cole Cabana, I mean, I have nothing against the guy. I think he does a good comedy act, and I think it would work well in Global Force. But it's just like I've seen too many Cole Cabana matches because I know exactly what he's going to do. So it's kind of like become a little bit stale to me. But we'll see. So it's another good pickup. It's just, you know, from what I've seen from these Global Force shows, it's nothing really impressive. Yeah, you can grab some of the best talent, but if you don't utilize it right and you don't, you know, put it in the right setting, it's not going to work. You know, they had the Young Bucks there, but they were in a baseball stadium in front of 200 people. That's not going to work. You know, there's a big difference in having, you know, great talent in front of 200 people in a baseball stadium as opposed to 400 or 500 people in Reseda, California at the Legion Hall for PWG. Big difference. You know, when you pack people into a small venue, you get that indie type feel because everyone's close together and it's closed off and it feels kind of like ECW was back in the day. You get that sort of feel. But when you're out in a huge baseball stadium and the whole stadium looks empty, you're not going to get the same type of reactions. You know, I've stated before, I hate when wrestling goes in front of baseball stadiums or outdoor venues. You know, WrestleMania is the only exception because it's WrestleMania. You know, they're going to pack 70,000, 80,000 people in an outdoor stadium, so that's going to work better than a minor league stadium in front of 300 people. You know, and they did it a lot in the 70s and 80s, but once again, they were selling out baseball stadiums. They were selling out Shea Stadium. You know, WWE was putting Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan in front of, you know, 60,000 people at Shea Stadium. That's a big difference. So it's good that Global Force is getting the talent. They need to put better venues. You can't keep doing this outdoor baseball stadium stuff because that's really going to make me disinterested in the product.
Speaking of baseball fields, I guess the next big thing to bring up is I know Ring of Honor is doing Field of Honor the same weekend as SummerSlam in Brooklyn, New York, and now there's rumors that WWE is going to put NXT up against Ring of Honor and put it live on the network. So they really have stiff competition against Ring of Honor that weekend.
Damn. Yeah, I heard about that too. They're trying to make people want to go like NXT or Ring of Honor. But let me ask Tom this, because you're from New York. If you have a choice for any of those two shows, which will you go to, Ring of Honor or NXT?
And keep in mind that Ring of Honor is also bringing in Nakamura, Okada, and Kushida for those shows.
Yep.
Listen, no offense to Ring of Honor. They are doing great stuff right now. They are putting on great television with their stuff on Destination America. They're putting on great shows. Best in the World was a great show. I am happy that Jay Lethal is world champ. They have a lot of momentum. But, like I just said, they're running in an outdoor baseball stadium. I fucking hate that. It's not the same feel. When I go to a Ring of Honor or an NXT show or an indie show, I want to feel like I'm closed in and, you know, I want the wrestlers flying over the top rope at me, almost, you know, decapitating my head. I want that type of feel. You don't get that at a baseball stadium. You're not going to get that. I absolutely despise outdoor venues for independent shows. Like I said, the only people that can do outdoor events is WWE and WrestleMania. That's the only thing. Nobody else should be running outdoor venues. Nobody. Maybe CZW for Tournament of Death, but that's like the only exception because they've been doing that for years. but the fans are right on top of, the barbed wire and all that. So that's acceptable. So if I'm going to pick NXT. Yes, I'm missing out on Nakamura and Okada and all that, but when I go to an NXT show, most likely it's going to be really good. With Ring of Honor, the Field of Honor last year was not good. I will say that with a lot of confidence that it was not good. And I'm glad I was thinking about going to that, but like I said, my disdain for baseball stadiums and wrestling events took me away from there. So I'm glad I didn't go to that. So I don't know. Like I said, if I had to choose, I'd probably choose NXT, especially now. Samoa Joe's in there, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and who knows? Uhaa Nation could be there as well. Solomon Crow. It just seems like a more stacked lineup than Ring of Honor. And like I said, with Ring of Honor, you never know with these shows. Most of their shows are good, but once in a while they'll put on a sloppy show.
I think the reason why you choose that as well, I know you have your disdain for baseball fields and everything, but I feel like NXT, and we've talked about this many times, is almost a better produced Ring of Honor in the sense of the level of work that these guys produce, in the sense of the way the crowds react to certain things. I feel like that's an independent wrestling crowd in NXT. It's a much better production team than Ring of Honor as well, so it's kind of more of an attractable product than anything.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well, and it's just like NXT has been putting on great shows. You've never heard from any of these live events that they've been bad, that you've seen really a bad match. You'll see like okay matches, but that's with the new talent. But all they have to do, throw Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, they could do that match 100 times, and I don't think they would ever put on a bad match. It's going to be a great women's match.
Or Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, which they have done.
Yeah, you could, but see, and that's the thing. You could put Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, etc., etc. But it's going to be great.
I guess you're not a fan of Hugs, Tom?
I don't like it. Like I said, I don't like it. I don't doubt that Ring of Honor wouldn't put on a great show. I'm just very skeptical with Field of Honor, especially how bad I thought the show was last year. And from what I heard from people that actually went to the show, the crowd was crap. They were, when you're in a baseball stadium, no matter if you're watching baseball or wrestling, people are going to get drunker than usual. There's a lot of just stupid chants. It just sounded ridiculous. And
now that you bring that up, actually, I do remember watching the show because I do have it on my computer, and I remember the dumb chants during Lethal and Taven's cage match, and I remember the dumb chants during the four-way main event. So I do remember what you're talking about now.
Yeah, and like I said, if I'm choosing, because WWE has reported that they want to run the NXT show at the Manhattan Center. So if they either go there or the Hammerstein Ballroom, whichever one of the two venues within that same building, it's easier to get to. Like I said, all I have to do is take the train, go down, go to Grand Central, and the Manhattan Center and the Hammerstein Ballroom are right there. So I don't have to, go very far, spend a lot of money. With Brooklyn, you can drive there, but it's, driving in New York City, for anyone that hasn't done it, is a pain in the ass. It sucks. So much traffic, 24 hours. It's a nightmare, but it's very interesting now that kind of WWE is walking into Ring of Honor type shows and saying, "Hey, don't go there. You should come here. We have Samoa Joe. We have Samoa Joe now, and he's going to be a big attraction for people to go to NXT shows."
And I think, no doubt, with the title going on Finn Balor in the future being July 4th, I feel like that's going to be a big attraction to people as well. I know Prince Devitt was one of the biggest attractions on the independent scene before he left to go to the WWE. And with him being the NXT champion, being the face of NXT, I think that's only good things going forward for the promotion.
Yeah, and it also goes back to who knows who WWE is going to sign next. You know, Biff Busick could be next. Drew Gulak could be next. Johnny Gargano, Havoc, etc., etc. All the names from the last tryout. So a lot of people are like, man, you know, I want to go to NXT event because I could see one of those guys or girls debut. So you have to factor that in, and that's why, you know, I know me and you have discussed this, Matt, that Ring of Honor needs to stack up that roster and not put people through their little training camp, which I know you've had some words on.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate the Ring of Honor dojo. I get that you want to train guys your way and everything, but when you have the talented independent scene that you do right now, there's no way that you can't take guys from other promotions. Like, big example of that, and it's somebody that they're actually starting to look at as well, which I'm really happy about. Actually, two guys I can say, and Davey Vega and Lewis Linden. I feel like both of those guys will be great additions to the Ring of Honor roster, and I know they've had some looks lately as well, so hopefully that ends up working out for the both of them. I think those are a couple guys as well. I really feel like Ring of Honor needs to stack up on some independent talent big time.
Yeah, and so you guys asked me this, so I want to ask both of you. If Ring of Honor was running in the same area as NXT, which one would you go to? Right now.
Now, see, this is
the roster that they have now. Nobody else has added. It's just the roster that they have now.
You see, with me, for sure, I would pick NXT, and that's only because, A, I've never been to an NXT show, and B, I've been to multiple Ring of Honor shows. So I think that's kind of a no-brainer for me. But
take that out of the equation. Say you've never been to a Ring of Honor show, you've never been to an NXT event, but you know the names. Which one would you go to?
See, that's where we go back to the whole NXT is Ring of Honor with better production thing, and I think I would pick NXT just because of that.
So, in my shoes, because I've been to both shows before, I've been to NXT out in the Bay Area, and also, they had like some matches in Access when I saw Neville teamed up with Corey Graves against Ascension, Paige against Emma, and Bo Dallas against Sami Zayn. Then all I've been to one Ring of Honor show. Maybe I'll go to Ring of Honor, to be honest with you, because maybe just to make it even, you know. Yeah, I guess maybe that's what I'll do. So.
And do you think that if you were to go to a Ring of Honor show, the card would really have to be stacked for you to go? Or would that not play a factor?
Hold on. Or I guess we have to make a little special phone call to WH Skits because supposedly he can't get through for some reason. So let's give him a quick call for a sec. Hold on for a second, people. Mr. Skits wants us to call his ass. Maybe his phone just sucks.
And before we do that, people, I have one question for you.
Is he going to rack him?
Come on, Skits.
One second. Calling him right now.
Yo.
What's on your damn phone?
It must be a new number, bro, because this is not the fucking, this is not the regular number. It's not the WH number that came up when you guys called.
347-9594.
498-005. It's 3 zeros and a 5.
What the hell?
What the?
As Booker T would say, what the hell?
What is good, though?
Nothing much. We just talked PWG. We talked about our Field of Honor going against NXT. Talk about the TNA return.
Talk some Global Force Wrestling as well.
Yeah.
Who's all on air, by the way? Can I get a roll call?
A what?
Can I get a roll call?
Well, you got Oscar, of course. You got me. I don't need an introduction.
You got me, Mr. WWP.
Fucking Matt.
Is that it? Is that everyone?
That is everyone.
Yes, that's everyone.
I'm pumping tomorrow. That's all I gotta say. I'll
Yeah.
be there.
Now, Skits, we were talking earlier about our fantasy predictions for PWG tomorrow, and also what we think is going to happen. 2 different scenarios. So we were talking about the whole main event team with Roderick Strong going into tomorrow. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't give a shit what nobody says. Roddy Strong's gonna still be your PWG champ by the end of the night. I don't care. I don't care if he still has a show on the same day as Ring of Honor's Deputy British Honor, but still, I say you don't take Roddy. You don't take the belt from Roddy. Sorry, I don't care if it's Candice LeRae or Joey Ryan. Neither one of those two need that belt, and if they even held the belt, like nobody's gonna care. Like Joey Ryan already gets booed. Like that's gonna look bad on him as a champ. That's like John Cena as fucking champ as a face, you know, in PWG. Candice LeRae, people might, you know, fuck with her, but Roddy Strong's on fire, dude. Like the dude is like killing the game right now. Like I don't think Roddy needs to lose that belt. Like just like I had a conversation, I forgot who I was talking to. They said PWG, the last 2 Mystery Vortex, or excuse me, not Vortex, but the last 2 anniversary shows were both main evented by tag team matches. And if you look back, last year it was Candice LeRae and Joey against the Bucks, and the year before that it was Ricochet and Swan versus Brian Cage Elgin versus the Bucks in the ladder match.
And
so,
I think that just solidified what I was thinking. I feel like with you saying that, with Candice and Joey having won the belts at last year's anniversary show, I think Candice wins the title and defends against Joey at the anniversary show.
Maybe. I also want to go back to something. Who did you say was in the ladder match 2 years ago? I want to hear those names again.
You had Ricochet and Swan versus Elgin and Cage versus the Bucks.
Wrong. PWG 10 was Inner City Machine Guns taking on the Young Bucks, taking on the Dojo Bros. Come on, you should know this. It was the Dojo Bros. And then the year before that, at 3 Men to 3, it was the Bucks taking on Future Shock, taking on the Super Smash Brothers. Come on.
Oh, shucky, ducky, quack, quack.
No.
There
was an anniversary last year.
I just had to correct you.
Skip, you gotta miss a PWG show for that now.
I just had to correct you.
Hey, I fucked up on one team. Forgive me. I've seen
you are forgiven. But another thing we were talking about, Skits, is possible debuts or returns. Any thoughts?
I don't see anybody returning MSU Vortex. I just see people probably making debuts. Maybe some surprises, maybe.
One name we were talking about, because we had this Busick on not too long ago, and he was calling out Mr. Super Dragon, and we were talking about that. Do you think Super Dragon returns tomorrow night?
Fuck out of here, bro.
A no would be a suffice answer.
Super Dragon is not going to come back to PWG anytime soon.
Another name we had brought up as well was the possibility of Timothy Thatcher showing up for Battle of Los Angeles to kind of introduce him to the PWG crowd.
I don't think he will show up like right now. I think he'll show up the day he's supposed to make his debut.
Well, remember, Skits, him and Gulak are booked the same weekend. They're going to be at Championships in Hollywood this weekend as well. So
that's true, but I don't think they want to fuck up like the debut that they already announced. They said it's a debut. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they want to fuck that up. Like they want to make this everybody's going for that reason. Oh my God, oh he's gonna be debuting that day. Like people that like Bola is all types of people from different cities, different countries that come down just to see a certain person. You know what I mean? I don't think
I'll be there.
I don't think they'll have like Tim Thatcher like make his debut that early. That's just me.
Nice.
Interesting.
It's gonna be a crazy night tomorrow night.
What if there's no debuts? What if they're just straight mystery matches? But I want to point out the last two mystery vortexes, there has been some debuts. I believe Trent and Tony Nese made a debut at one mystery vortex, and another mystery vortex with Cedric Alexander and Trevor Lee and excuse me.
Trent and Anthony Nese did not make their debut in the first mystery vortex. You got it wrong again.
This guy's calling them out. Damn.
And
I know
just to correct you again, Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander at Mystery Vortex 2 did not make his debut because at Kurt Russell Reunion 3, Cedric Alexander did wrestle, so it was not his official
Fuck
debut.
you guys right now. You know what I mean. Fuck you guys.
Okay.
You know what I mean.
To get this back
now,
on the right
let me
track.
ask you a question, Oscar, real quick. Since Trent didn't make his debut at Mystery Vortex, when he made his, tell me when.
Okay,
I want to know when.
It's a show I didn't go to. It was one of the All-Star Weekend shows. It's one of.
I gotta go, guys. Anyways, I gotta get back to work. Watch Kevin Hart. I may have fucked up and made a couple botches and shit. It doesn't matter. I go to so many fucking shows.
Hey, it's okay. Hey, Skid, you're not the only one that botched. The Lakers did botch too, so you're not.
Lakers made a good. No. Hey, Lakers made a great choice by dropping him. But
hey, Skids.
Don't stop believing!
Not that I question Skid's basketball knowledge, but oh well, we'll see.
He didn't stop believing. That's always good.
But anyway, we hurt Skid's feelings. You know what?
That's easy to do.
Let's make one more commercial break, and when we come back, I gotta ask Matt a question about some show in July, if he's gonna go there or not. We'll be right back.
This is the Juice JT Dunn, and you're listening to Wrestling Heads Radio. This is Josh Alexander
and Ethan Page.
We are the Monster Mafia,
and you're listening to Wrestling Heads Radio.
Hey, let's put that on there. All right, Matt. So what are you doing July 18th?
July 18th. That's funny you say that. I have front row seats to one House of Hardcore.
Yeah, because I see a card out there now that Tommy Dreamer put out there. Maybe I'm going to say I want to punch you in the nuts because you're going to the show. But,
that card is, the 3 matches that have been announced already. I'm quite excited for. You got the Dudley Boys, Team 3D, whichever you want to prefer them as. Bully Ray, Devon Dudley taking on the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson representing the Bullet Club, taking this to Canada. I know they've wrestled at TCW before, and I'm pretty sure they've wrestled elsewhere as well. But this has happened on Canadian soil, House of Hardcore. Also going down is the Kingdom, Michael Bennett and Matt Taven with Marie Kanellis taking on the current Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions of the world, The Addiction, Christopher Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian. Also announced Tommy Dreamer versus Chris Hero.
Yeah, and NXT's own Rhino has an open challenge to anyone in the wrestling business. Any guess who you think that could be?
I definitely, when we talk about House of Hardcore, there's always surprises. I definitely see that being one of those surprises. I know my good old boy Ethan Page, All Ego, is going to be on that event as well. Super excited about that. So really cool to see him on the show. Team Tremendous going to be in the house. Eddie Kingston going to be in the house. JT Dunn going to be in the house, and many more. I know Tracy Brooks actually making her final wrestling appearance at this event as well. So really going to be an amazing event.
Yeah, and I also see Jimmy Cordera is going to referee a match on this event.
Yeah, actually, he's kind of a regular official for Smash Wrestling, so it's not something that's out of the ordinary for me, but it's cool that he'll be at House of Hardcore. It's cool that he'll get that spotlight.
Yeah, and I see Danny Doring's going to do commentary.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I know they're going to be doing a live pay-per-view for the event as well, so it's going to be one hell of a show for Tom Dream. I think one of the best House of Hardcores produced to date.
Yeah, probably. This seems like the one there, the San Diego show I went to, when the main event was Bucks and Addiction, and then the Nasty Boys came out. So yeah.
Yikes!
Don't forget, Johnny Mundo is going to come out. He's going to be there too, and Tommaso Ciampa is going to be. Huh?
That's correct. Tommaso Ciampa as well, like you were just saying there as well. A couple of names I shouldn't have forgot. Going to be very, very excited to see all those guys. A lot of those guys I actually haven't seen before.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston's going to be there as well. Pepper Parks with Cherry Bomb, they're going to be there. So
very cool to see my boy Pepper and Cherry on the show.
Yeah. So Anthony Nese is going to be there. I mean, yeah, it's going to be. It sounds like you're going to have a lot of fun there, Matt.
That 7 days, actually, between the 12th and the 19th is going to be pretty hectic for me. As July 12th, I'm going to throw some quick looks here. Alpha One Wrestling, Josh Alexander's final show. Big show for me. Really excited for that. So check it out, A1 Wrestling, alpha-1wrestling.com for more info. And then Smash Wrestling's Rival Schools on the 19th. Check out smash-wrestling.com or at Smash Wrestling on Twitter for more info on those shows. But yeah, going to be a really exciting 7 days for me between that time, man.
All right. Well, Skips just sent me this earlier today, but another guy will not be at PWG on July 24th. He'll be at Death Before Dishonor, and it'll be ACH. He will not be at PWG, but he's going against Adam Page on that IPW event, so just want to put that out there. So July 24th, do not expect ACH to be at PWG.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people that have been PWG regulars haven't been coming back. You know, we haven't seen AR Fox in quite a couple shows. We haven't seen Cedric Alexander, ACH, Chuck Taylor. But you know what? For the anniversary show, I mean, the names they already announced. You know, you have Angelico and Jack Evans making their debut. The Wolves are coming back, and Akira Tozawa. That sold me on the show. All those names coming onto the show sold me.
Damn. Well, yeah, this is going to go down. The next Revolution Pro, well, it's going to be a while, but it's going to be on October the 2nd. This match has been announced. Marty Scurll will be going against AJ Styles and Will Ospreay. That's going to be crazy out there in the UK.
That's going to be nuts. One thing before we get back to mentioning matches and stuff that was going to happen, because I know this has been a big news topic within, you know, the internet and what's going on, and I think we should just talk about it for a little bit. The whole contract situation going on with Dolph Ziggler. A lot of people speculating that he might not re-sign. Some people saying he might re-sign. And, of course, now there's interest for Dolph Ziggler from TNA, from Lucha Underground, from New Japan. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Oscar, start it off.
All right. There's also this whole, I've been hearing that he might resign, but if he decides not to resign, I can tell you this, though. It's a good chance he will end up in Lucha Underground. That's what I think, because, first of all, I just heard this past weekend he lives out here in Los Angeles. I did not know he lived out here. So he lives out here. and if Lucha Underground continues to do shows, then why not go to somewhere you can just drive and there you go, Lucha Underground, you know? TNA, he might go I mean, what's the reason to go to TNA? I
think TNA would push him to the moon like they do with every former WWE star, and because WWE hadn't done that to him, I think he'd like the attention and like the fact that somebody's willing to take the chance to push him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in TNA.
Yeah, possibility. New Japan, that would be interesting. I mean, he'll do great against guys like Kota Ibushi, Kyle O'Reilly. They want to bring him out there, or I'm trying to think. Could you I can't pronounce his name right now. Fucking David's former partner.
Lance Hoyt?
Taguchi. Ryusuke Taguchi.
Taguchi, yeah.
I thought I heard Davey Boy. I apologize.
But yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of weird to see him in New Japan. But if I had to pick, maybe Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna go to Ring of Honor, to be honest.
Really?
Well,
go ahead.
But if he does go to Ring of Honor, that means he's most likely going to New Japan than those other two companies.
I've been thinking about this ever since. It was reported that his contract was coming up soon, and obviously there's going to be some speculation on what's going to happen. I think at the end of the day, I mean, Dolph Ziggler's in a good position. He makes pretty good money there. I don't know, obviously he doesn't make as much as, John Cena or Randy Orton, but I imagine he's probably in the upper tier as far as people who make money. His merchandise is everywhere in the crowd. His merchandise probably sells really well, so he gets a good cut from that. So I imagine that you would have to think about, okay, if I do leave WWE, I'm automatically going to be making less money. Because you don't have, the exposure, I would say, that WWE has. He would probably be pushed wherever he went, but look at Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder is a glorified jobber, but he probably makes really, really good money being a glorified jobber. So that's probably a reason why he wants to, stick around there. So that's just the one thing that makes me think that Dolph Ziggler is not going to leave WWE, is because he's making too good of money, and it's not like Dolph Ziggler is a jobber. He's an upper mid-carder. He's a former world champion. He's done a lot. So
I think I kind of agree with you in the sense of WWE's also letting him explore outside options and doing like his comedy shows and other things outside of the business as well. So I kind of agree with you in the sense of I could see him staying with the company and kind of just staying there for the money aspect of things.
Yeah, and it's like, certain guys have certain ideas and there's certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Certain things that they carry about themselves. Like a guy like John Morrison. I mean, he was probably making really good money in WWE, but he felt that he just couldn't be in WWE anymore, and he explored his outside options, and now he's doing great stuff with Lucha Underground. Too far to a guy like CJ Parker, who was only at the beginning of his career, and he decided on his own that he thought that he would do better outside of WWE than what they were doing with him. So it depends on, I think, the person and what their ideals are and what they're striving for. And obviously, I think, like I said, Dolph Ziggler is probably one of the top earners. Like I said, I don't think he's Cena or Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton, but he probably makes really good money.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens with Dolph Ziggler. I mean, if he does leave, I mean, what the hell WWE gonna do with Lana? Then if they're gonna put her back with Rusev, or that they gotta figure out something with Lana.
You could do anything with Lana. You could stick her with anybody. Come on. I mean, you could stick her with Mojo Rawley if you wanted to. I'm not saying to do that, WWE. Please don't do that.
Yeah, don't get my ideas now.
Don't listen to my ideas.
I mean, we did saw their new tag team, the Hype Bros, with him and fucking Zack Ryder last night in NXT. I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, you know what? I don't really like it, but it gives Zack Ryder something to do, so I can't complain too much. It's a fresh tag team in NXT. Mojo doesn't look as bad as a singles competitor, like when he was doing singles competition. So as much as I'm not really digging the team, it's fine with me. One thing about NXT that I wanted to discuss, I don't know if you guys saw it, the whole thing they've been doing is with Finn Balor, and they've been showing. Last night they showed his whole roots in New Japan, and they were interviewing Jason Albert, who was over there for I think 6-7 years as Giant Bernard. Did a lot of success there. They showed New Japan footage. They were showing a whole bunch of different stuff. They even showed him wearing a Bullet Club bandana and holding up a Bullet Club shirt. It was really great stuff. I love when WWE does stuff like this, gives a background and all this. And the week before they were showing footage from ICW and Rev Pro when he was doing stuff in the UK. So WWE is I think they're now deciding that it's okay, we need to show their past, and okay, we'll mention other companies. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean those Balor footage they've been showing on NXT was freaking awesome. I mean, part 3 is gonna talk about his debut in the WWE. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the thing that really struck me as weird is they kept showing pictures of Finn Balor and Jason Albert when they were in Japan, but when they were showing pictures, Carl Anderson was in all the pictures, and WWE could have decided just to show pictures of Finn Balor and Jason Albert whenever. They didn't have to take those pictures of Carl Anderson. I may be thinking too much into this, but do we see maybe Carl Anderson ever getting a shot in WWE?
Oh, I can see him asking them for a tryout, but I don't mind seeing them in what's it called, in WWE, but we'll see. I mean, it's a very possibility he'll end up there.
Yeah, it was something that I was thinking of, because you have to think that he's good friends with both Finn Balor and Jason Albert, so they might get in WWE's ear and say, hey, you should sign this guy. And it seems that, New Japan's not really giving him too serious of a push. They're just still kind of keeping him with Gallows over there, not really giving him a big push. So he may be enticed to come to WWE.
The thing about Carl Anderson is that I feel like he's the voice of the Bullet Club. That's how I feel. That's how I feel like every match is always cutting out a promo, and the show. He calls out the city Osaka, shitty old pro wrestling. The voice of the Bullet Club. If the Bullet Club has a voice, it's Carl Anderson's voice. That's what I think about Anderson. They really don't need him to push. They don't need to give him a world title push. If they lose AJ Styles, maybe. If AJ decides to go to WWE in 2016, if that's the little rumor that they're interested. But if they do that route, maybe it could be almost try to say he's the leader of Bullet Club type role if they still want to stick with the Bullet Club. But yeah, maybe we'll see. Maybe he'll have a big year next year due to the fact that they lost AJ Styles and he has to take over out there.
Maybe you're right.
All right. Hold on. We got. Oh, in a minute. It's probably still. I was gonna say I thought we have a call on hold, but Matt, what's going on with you, Matt? Matt, you there?
And that was Matthew Grant, ladies and gentlemen, Invisible, a ghost.
I think. Oh. Well, I think he doesn't want to speak. So, anyways, what was I gonna say? Well, yeah, let's just see what happens with Anderson, but yeah. Sketch sent me some other things about AAW. They're having a show coming up, July 17th. I don't have the actual card with me, but I see a poster, but yeah. Matt just tweeted FU Blog Talk Radio. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I guess there's something wrong with Matt's mic. He's talking shit about fucking Blog Talk
Radio. Can you guys hear me?
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
I can hear you now.
Yes, you're a live caller on Blog Talk Radio here on Wrestling Heads Radio.
Listen here, Blog Talk Radio, okay? Fuck you. Fuck everything you work for. Skits was right. The fucking call-in doesn't work whatsoever. So, Blog Talk Radio, get the fuck on your shit and fix that shit ASAP, because you kicked me off the fucking Direct Connect. So, fix your fucking shit. But, I just wanted to throw in.
We got a shoot here, ladies and gentlemen. WrestleMania 32 confirmed. Blog Talk Radio versus Matthew Grant. It is going down.
Oh, I just wanted to throw out some quick thoughts. You guys brought up the Lana situation with Rusev and Ziggler and all that crap. And if Ziggler is going to be leaving the company, why are you putting him in this position? A, to break up the whole Lana and Rusev thing, which, like I talked about on other podcasts, why fix something that's not broken? B, why the hell are you throwing the irrelevant Summer Rae into this feud and just to ruin Rusev even more than he already is? And C, why did you even do this thing in the first place? I just don't understand.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you said he might be at TNA. I said Lucha Underground. Does Tom even care? Who knows?
And then, did you guys talk about the Finn Balor little segments that's been going on at NXT? Is that what I heard too before I kind of dropped off?
Yeah.
We're talking about.
Dude, I've been so impressed with those segments. They've gone out of their way to build Finn Balor like a star going into this July 4th WWE Network special with Kevin Owens. And if he doesn't take the championship, I will be more stunned than probably would Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker for the streak.
Yeah. I think that they're going to go that route, so you have nothing to worry about that. But, yeah. I want to I gotta say something for my West Coast people here, but July 17th, Ring of Honor returns to Las Vegas on a Friday night.
What a weird main event.
Oh no, yeah. Before that, I just want to say I can't believe I'm not gonna go to the show, but unfortunately I'm not gonna go. But Skits is trying to get there. I wish I could go, but due to scheduling, I can't make it. But I wish I was there, though. Well, yeah, it is a weird main event, though. It's called a Vegas Wild Card main event. It's Jay Lethal teaming up with Roderick Strong and Moose going against Jay Briscoe, Dalton Castle, and Kyle O'Reilly.
That is really weird, especially because Roderick Strong and Moose, they're like faces. So why are they teaming up with Jay Lethal?
It's just I know it's a weird main event. It's called a wild card main event for some reason. RPG Vice, they're going to be going against the Young Bucks. Now that's
always a good time, and always a good time when they had the chance to face off in New Japan, whether it be in multi-man tags or against one another. But going to get to see it on Ring of Honor soil this time. Going to be very interesting.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm sure Tom will be busting that fucking theme song of RPG Vice.
Yep, Roppongi Vice. that I got really pissed. Not really pissed, but kind of annoyed when they gave RPG Vice the IWGP Junior tag titles, and then they just took them off them. I was really confused. I was like, wait, what was the point of putting them on RPG Vice? It was really weird, and then they just gave them back to the Young Bucks. So that confused me. Hopefully, maybe that'll change. We got like I said, we got a lot of events coming up, within the next couple weeks. Of course, PWG tomorrow, as we've been discussing, July 4th, that big WWE show in Japan. And then the next day you have Dominion for New Japan, which is going to be a really big show for them. So that should be stuff to look out for. And then July 10th, you have AIW's probably biggest show of the year. It's sold completely out, so that tells you all you need to know. And which, we'll probably talk all about these events next week in more detail.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to finish up with this card right here of this show in Las Vegas, but there's gonna be a Ring of Honor Television Championship. Well, there's no contender to the Ring of Honor Television Championship, and the winners will face off in a three-way elimination to determine the number contender to the Television Championship. Jay Lethal still holds the World Championship, the TV Championship, so I'm guessing he's still gonna have Lethal keep them both.
Yeah, that's been the thing coming out of the TV tapings, that he will be holding on to both championships and defending them both going forward.
That's crazy. But the opening round matches for the number contender matches are Christopher Daniels against Mark Briscoe, Matt Taven versus Bobby Fish, Frankie Kazarian against ACH. And
we've all been talking about. Sorry to interrupt. We've all been talking about Kyle O'Reilly possibly winning the TV title. What if Bobby Fish wins the title?
Not bad. I wouldn't mind, I guess.
Yeah, I think it would be something interesting, and that could lead up to an eventual Red Dragon split, maybe.
It's a Red Dragon. But anyways, for your West Coast guys, my fellow West Coast guys, if you guys want to go, just head out there July 17th. Maria Kalanis will also be there. She has a special announcement. Hope she doesn't say she's pregnant. Adam Cole will be there. Mike Bennett, Silas Young, and War Machine are planned to be there. I believe tickets are still available, so just head out there at Ring of Honor if you can make it. Head out there in Vegas. There's also, for people in LA that's listening, there's this bus service called American Lion for $20. I'm telling you, for $20 round trip, they'll take you to Vegas. So that costs less than filling up your gas tank to drive to Vegas. So for fucking $20, that's fucking crazy. I mean, I'll do that if I were you people. Or if I was gonna go to Ring of Honor, I was gonna just take that bus service, fucking watch Ring of Honor, and then bus all nighter in Vegas and come back home all fucking drunk and pass out. That's why I would have done it. I've gone out there. Oh well.
Speaking of Ring of Honor, they also announced today another match for Death Before Dishonor going on July 24th. No disqualification, ACH taking on Adam Page. So, I think this possibly is going to be the end of the ACH Adam Page feud going forward.
I already announced that already, but yeah, thanks for reminding
me. Oh, did you? When did you announce that?
Right,
what was I missing?
Right after the commercial.
Yeah, Ring of Honor doing some big things, and hey, Oscar, save your drunken ways for Bowl weekend, man.
Okay, I will save it just for you, man. I was telling fucking Tom that we were talking about Polo Week, and I was discussing our plans. Like, I was telling Tom that I just live like right down, not that far from the fucking airport. Like, I was telling Tom that as soon as you land the airplane, or actually when you about to get your bag, you should give me a call and say, hey, pick me up, because that's how close I live in the airport. So.
And if you don't pick me up, it'll be
fucking bullshit!
All right, well, right now, the final minutes of the show, tomorrow night, anybody's listening, or anybody's listening right now, if you're going to TW tomorrow night, we'll have shirts, Wrestling Head shirts at the show. So hit up me and Skids. If you want to get a shirt, just hit us up, and we'll likely give you one. Just look for one of us. And tomorrow night's going to be a fun night at PWG, like it's always a fun night out there. And wish you guys could make it, but Matt, you will be there in Bola, so you're going to fucking have a good time. I make sure you have a good time. I don't know if you'll get laid out there, but I'll make sure you have a good time. So.
Bitches love the WWP.
All right. Anyway, let's give out our plugs. You can follow us at Wrestling Heads at Twitter, Instagram. You can see our pictures out there. Mainly that Matthew Grant likes our photos. You can like our photos with Paige and Scarlett, Ethan Page. Yeah, we have a lot out there. So check us out. Just follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Fuck it. YouTube/Wrestling Heads. You can check out our old stuff, past interviews there. Also our old Blog Talk Radio. You can check us out there. Please follow the Elite Podcast Network at Elite Podcast Network. Just do that, please. Matthew Grant will appreciate that. You can follow Skids, who just joined us earlier. You can follow him at WH Skids. Check out WrestlingHeads.com for any news or any updates of anything going around. Maybe then Jeff Jarrett will be in the Hall of Fame tomorrow. You never know. But just check it out. Check out our bloggers. Just check out their stuff, their work. I think it's interesting to read if you like to read. Also, we'll be back on Monday. I think Monday we have a guest. Yes, we have a guest, Sasha Directo. He's going to join us Monday.
My comrade.
Yes, my comrade. Let's see what he has going. Maybe he'll talk about that championship race from Hollywood. Red Carpet Rumble's coming in July, which they announced some couple of TNA names are going to be there. And you can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter and Instagram. I guess fuck it, Snapchat. You can add me on there, but don't send me your penis.
He loves the peacock, a.k.a.
My name's not Tom. I'm sorry. But anyways, you can follow me there. I won't post no classic match. Well, maybe, you know what? I might do a classic match of the week if I could wake up early enough from all the madness from PWG. Just follow me at Sinister632. I guess I'm done here. About the whole shirts thing, if you don't want to wait for us tomorrow night, just go to fucking ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingHeads and you get a shirt right there. All right. I guess go ahead, Tom.
Yep, you can follow me on Twitter at @2tweetme. It's my personal account. Trying to get back with tweeting regular stuff. I'm always off and on with that, so just stick around with that. I'll probably be tweeting more within the next couple months. I'm always on and off with Twitter, probably because I see something on Twitter and then I hate it, and then I go off of it, and then I'm sucked back in. But anyway, that's where you can follow me. Make sure you guys check out the rest of the Elite Podcast Network family. Uncle Mike and Tom Show just dropped a new episode with Dan Barry talking about their big match coming this Sunday at Beyond Wrestling. So make sure you check that out. Eyes on the Ring will be on Sunday. And, of course, next Monday, Wrestling Heads, and next Tuesday and Wednesday is, of course, as always, the Indie Power Rankings. So a lot of good stuff coming from the Elite Podcast Network. Make sure you guys aren't missing out on it. If you guys are in the Rhode Island area, Beyond Wrestling is running a big show this weekend. And I thought I would mention this as well. Beyond Wrestling posted a Facebook status, which if you go to facebook.com/Beyond Wrestling, you can read the post where if you email them, which you can get the email from their Twitter or Facebook, whatever, they're looking to make some money because of some conflicting issues. So they're doing a secret sale on DVDs, T-shirts, all this great stuff. They could really use the support and help so they can keep running great shows like the one they're doing on Sunday and beyond that, no pun intended. So if you guys are looking for some great DVDs, make sure to hit up Beyond Wrestling for the email to get the super secret sale. And make sure you guys are checking out smartmarkvideo.com for companies like Beyond Wrestling, Alpha One Wrestling, AAW, Chikara, etc., etc., etc. Just support it the best you can. And I'll pass it on to you, Matt, because I'm all out.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do it at Matthew Grant. First day is a 4. If you want to hear me rant on shitty wrestling promoters like the people who fucked over Beyond Wrestling, or some retards who like to invite me via Facebook to their shows, even though they don't want to use us, you can follow me at Matthew Grant. First day is a 4. I rant about dumb women, wrestling happenings, you name it. It happens on my Twitter, so check it out there. You can also check out the Weekly Wrestling Podcast on Twitter at WeeklyW Podcast, and like Oscar Tom were saying, you can follow the Elite Podcast Network on Twitter at Elite Podcast Net. We also appreciate subscribes, reviews, you name it, comments, everything we can get towards the Elite Podcast Network and iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, on Blog Talk Radio, and wherever you get your podcasts from. Because I did a little search yesterday, and I didn't know how many podcast platforms there really are outside of iTunes and Stitcher and all that. There's quite a few that we're on that I wasn't aware of in the past. So if you guys are supporting us in any sort of way on one of those podcast platforms, we appreciate it. Support us, ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingHead/WWP/IndiePower. Always support the Elite Podcast Network directly. YouTube.com/Weekly Wrestling Podcast. The Young Bucks, Samoa Joe, and plenty of others up on there. Highly recommend checking out those interviews. From here, I'll be at Destiny World Wrestling this weekend, where they crown their first ever champion, Booker T, Brian Cage, the Monster Mafia, and more in the house. So, going to be a good show. Follow us on Twitter for the happenings.
All right. Well, I guess we'll be back on till Monday, but just follow us on Twitter to see what's going on in PWG. We'll find out everything what's going on.
There's going to be one word to describe everything that happens at PWG tomorrow, and that's
Jesus!
Yes. So if we have a new world champ, you'll find out on our Twitter. And I'm sure Tom's going to be staying up late, reading our Twitters, and I'm sure you're going to do the same thing, Matt. So get ready.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that the show doesn't run until 1 a.m. your time, like it did for DVT4. I don't know if I can stay up until 4 a.m.
Fucking brutal, man. That was so bad.
So I'm hoping PWG can end at a reasonable time. Midnight, around there would be ideal. But I can't blame them, So, and what's going to be interesting, especially about this PWG show tomorrow, is what happened with DDT4 with the camera issues, that some of the matches are only on the hard cam. So hopefully they get their camera fixed for this show, because even though it's PWG and they're always going to put on great matches, some of the best camera angles come from the up-close and personal camera that they're using. So hopefully they got that fixed for tomorrow night.
Well, I guess until Monday, Tom and fucking Matt can suck it. So, peace.
You can, son, I can.